Hi guys, I'm gonna try recording my first card making video for you right now. So, I'm gonna show you what I made yesterday that we're gonna try to duplicate today, but of course I left it over at the other side of the room, so hang on. This is called a double floating pop-up card. You have the front, and then you open it up, and then you have these pop-up elements. So, this will be a birthday card, obviously, for somebody. And then, of course, I have my Handcrafted Love by Dee stamp on there. We're going to start with this sheet of cardstock that we are going to score at 2 1/8. There's my little scoreboard here. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing, 2 1/8. Okay. Now I always like to fold the cardstock on the opposite direction that I scored it. So we're going to do this. And here's my burnishing tool. The other one works to burnish too, but this one is better. So then we have our little card base. It goes like this. Okay, this piece is 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, scored at 2 1/8. Flip it over, 2 1/8. This piece is a 5 1/4 by 3" piece, and we are going to score at 1 inch, 3 1/4, which is right here, and 4 1/4. Make sure I get that right there. Okay, let's burnish on the opposite side for each of them. And get my scoring tool. There we go. Get them all nice and burnished. Now at this point, we will be cutting it in half. So hang on just a second while I go to my cutter and I will cut it in half for you. Okay, here we go. We have our two pieces now, and they are going to be the pop-up elements. I'm going to get my little stamping tool here. This is called a Misty, and you place your paper here, your stamp on the other side, ink it up, close it, and then press, and hopefully it will ink really well. So, okay, now we have two more parts that are part of the pop-up. This card, let's see, this is 5, no, that's not right. Hang on. This is 3 1/8 by 2 1/2. Okay, and then I cut a layering piece out of white that I will be stamping on, and we'll glue them together like this. All right, so here we go. I'm going to put my cardstock here. Here's my little magnet that keeps it together. And I am going to kind of get my stamp positioned here. Looks like it's maybe a little bit more to the top. Okay, this magnet hopefully will keep it in place. So assuming I have to re-stamp it, which I usually do, then I can get it in the right spot. So here we go. I don't know if I'm in shot here, but I've got my Simon Says Stamp Soft Sky ink. It's a dye ink. And I will go ahead and put that on there. Now, here we go. Press. Press, press, press. And I also have this little tool that's kind of cool. Looks like a hockey puck. Or I mean, one of those tabletop things. And you can just go like this. It's for people who have wrist issues, and most of the time I don't, but sometimes I do. Oh, it looks so good. Maybe just a little teeny tiny bit right there. So I'm going to stamp it. I'm probably out of shot. I'm sorry. And we'll close it again. Guys, if I'm out of shot, if you can't hear me very well, just know that this is my first card making video, okay? All right. Oh, it looks a little better, I think. So, okay. So now this ink needs a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to set it over here. Okay. There were 2 pop-up elements here. So we'll have one here and one here on the second card. Wipe this off so that, and it's just like a little, let's see, what's the name of it? I think it's, oh boy, I can't even read it anymore. It might be Lawn Fawn. Yeah, Lawn Fawn right there. So you wipe it off, and then I'll put it over here, dry that a little bit. I'm ready to, okay, that has got to be in the corner, guys. When you do this, make sure it is in the corner because, and with the magnet on it. And if it isn't, then if you have to re-ink, it will shift. And then you'll have a blurry image, and I've done that many, many, many times. So this is a new stamp too, so I'm gonna wipe off the stamp a little bit. Taking the same soft navy Simon Says stamp ink. I'm gonna, here. Now let's see how it does. Sometimes new stamps don't stamp that great from the beginning. Really depends on the manufacturer, I think. The company that sells them. Ooh, that turned out really well. So I think we'll just leave that. Okay? Hooray! Now, I thought about adding another stamp called Celebrate. Then we'll be ready to position this Celebrate. It's kind of tiny, but it's kind of fun to mix up your sizes. Now, like I said, this is a new stamp to me, so I'm gonna make sure I wipe off. You kind of wipe off the where you stamp because there's some film from the manufacturer that's on there. So we'll try this. And I've got my card in the corner like it should be. Celebrate. Awesome. Maybe I will want to try it again, just in a different spot. How about just on the other side of that here? We're not going to worry about if it's perfect. We will do just fine no matter what. Okay, see, when I did that, it shifted. So now I got to make sure I get this in the right spot. Ink it up. Then press. Hopefully you can see. Oh, hey, it looks pretty good. Guess we'll keep that. Okay, so here I have another piece, and this is, let's see, this is 2 7/8 by 1 1/4. So I will put the magnet there. It says just simply happy birthday. And let me get this positioned okay. I think it's good. Okay, I've used this one before, so I shouldn't have to condition it. Oh, did you hear that? Did you see that? It kind of stuck to the stamp when I lifted up the lid of the positioner, so now I got to make sure it's in the corner again. So in case I need to stamp again, it will be okay. So the same soft navy ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I will press. Maybe I'll use my little hockey puck thing. Actually, it's not a puck, is it? I don't know what it's called. Anybody know what these are called? It reminds me of a hockey puck. Oh, it didn't quite stamp well enough here. We're going to do this again. Okay. Get the magnet on. Really important to put the magnet on and the paper in the corner. Just going to stamp it over. Okay, let's go here. Oh, you know what? I better move that because it's probably just a little too close. Okay. Sometimes you don't have the best success because you're not pressing down hard enough. Hey, cool. Okay, let me wipe it off. I like to clean as I go so that I don't have a mess later. So now, I didn't show you this, but this is the bottom layer to this greeting part. And it is, let's see, it is 3 1/8 by 1 1/2. Okay, so we're going to glue these together. I'm going to get, hang on just a second, piece of scratch paper so that I have a base to catch any glue or something that's gonna, and of course I didn't bring my glue over, so hang on one more second. I don't usually use this a lot, but this is the Lawn Fawn's glue tube. And get it mostly to the edges. This will kind of squidge just a tiny bit. So it doesn't have to be to the very, very edge. Okay, so that's pretty good. You know, better than horrible, as there's a couple who have their own company, Gina K Designs, and Gina and her husband, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name for a second. They have their own YouTube channel, and, oh, Tom, that's his name. Gina will ask Tom, how are you? And he'll say, better than horrible. So I would say this is better than horrible. I didn't quite get it lined up quite the same from the top to bottom, but you know what? We're going to go with it. So now it's going to be the Celebrate Hooray's turn. And by the way, I'm in the habit of closing my glue bottles because they can kind of dry out a little bit on the end. Maybe not this brand so much, but another brand I use a lot, which I need to get a refill of. So, and I'm going to put this down. We're going to see if we can't get it just a little bit more even. I think that was good. And we'll press. This glue doesn't dry quite as quickly as my other kind. I'll save that for another video after I get my refill. But, okay, so we'll have that done. And then we have the happy birthday one that we will glue. And hopefully I'm in shot. Okay. We'll get this put together. I think that's pretty good. Okay. See, it's a good thing I have that scratch paper because of that glue booger, so we'll just leave it there. Okay, now we have our base. This is our base. What we also need, that I haven't shown you yet, is the inside that we're going to glue here. I think I'll do that first, and then we have some more pieces to glue I haven't shown you yet. Let me do that. And this will be a space for writing a message, or if you want to even decorate it further, you could. But this is for a guy, so I'm going to kind of keep it a little more simple than maybe I would for a girl. So let's see here. Get it up. It's a little... See, this glue doesn't dry as fast as some of the other ones, so it gives you a little bit more wiggle room if you have to readjust, you know. So now see these little flaps? We have 2 in the front, 2 on the inside. I've taken pattern paper and I have cut them. Let's see, this was 5 1/4 by 7 1/2, and then you cut into 4 pieces equally that are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So we have this one, we have this one, we have this one, and this one. Okay, so I am going to start gluing these. We're going to put the first 2 on the front. So let me get my glue on here, and we'll see how it goes. The guy I'm making this for has kind of, I want to say like farm-like ties. They live in the country, and they don't actually farm, I don't think, but they appreciate the country, and so I thought this would be kind of a good design for him. And he's turning 60 from what I hear, so anyway, and that's something I forgot to bring over that we're gonna be doing, I guess. Okay, let me get this. See how this, I want this to line up at the bottom the same as I would the top, but you know what? I guess we're just gonna have to say better than horrible. And then I will glue this one on the left side of the inner flap. And there we go. See if I can get a good even border around here. Oh, better than horrible. That might become my new tagline, I don't know. The last little panel layer that we'll glue on here, that got just a little close to the edge. I may have to watch that when I glue it in there. Okay. Now, you know what? It started to dry before I could get a chance to really, unless I can lift it and, oh, nope. I'm not going to ruin this. Oh, some glue on the table. I should have left the scratch paper there. So that's what's on the front. I also have these stamps that are numbers that have 60, of course. So I guess I should decide where I want to put those. The first panel, the pop-up panel, is going to go up here. And the second one will go down here. So let's see, maybe I can do 60 right in the middle. And then when it pops out, it will show. I haven't tried this, so I don't know. But let's see. Now I'm going to not use, okay, let me get my MISTI out here, rearrange. If this channel goes okay, then I will hopefully have my daughter Justine's help on doing a better setup. So as far as like maybe getting my phone camera in a different position. So right now I'm just doing it on my own. So she's good. So we'll rely on her for that, hopefully. Okay, now hopefully I will get it straight. And we're gonna go 60. Please, Lord, let it get on there well. Oh, perfect. Okay. Now the 0 for 60. Here we go. Oh, well, a bit wonky, but you know what? I'm not gonna, it's better than horrible, right? Better than horrible. Okay. I'm gonna wipe these number stamps off so that they don't get yucky. Okay, now take this out of the MISTI. Oh, whoops. I have 2 of these magnets, and if they get together, okay, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I'll have to do that later, but they are very hard to come undone. So I may have to have Kurt, my husband, help. So we'll see. Okay, now here is the first panel. And we have to put it, okay, see on this one, you have the panel so that it's folded, the side with the one score line, and here you have 2 score lines. It has to go onto the card like this. And then we will do the other one on the bottom in the opposite way. Okay, but right now, I'm going to get this glued. And let's get it, pardon me if my head gets in the way. Now, one thing to remember is there's a score line here, so try to make sure you don't go over the score line or the card will not close well. And just ask me how I know. I've made that mistake before, and when I've made fun fold cards like this. And by the way, I need to tell you, this design is not mine. This design is done by a lady named Connie, and she has Simply Simple Stamping website, or maybe, I guess it's a website, and also a YouTube channel and maybe a blog or something. Anyway, so this is where I got this idea. So I want to give full credit to her, to Connie, and she is fun to watch. I've just discovered her. And okay, now this one, we're going to glue on the very, very last scored part and glue it down like this. Okay, hold it for a second because we want it to to stay. And then we have to make a choice which pop-up panel we're going to use on the top. There we go. See? Okay, now our choices are the Happy Birthday first or the Celebrate Hooray first. I think maybe I want to do this one first. All we have to do, see, this is going to go like this. So we are going to glue all this panel, this part of the panel right here. Hopefully I'm still in shot. Try not to get any too close to the edge, because if it smooshes out a little bit, it will. Okay, now what I want to do is get it so that it's even with the top part of the card base. Does that make sense to you? Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, I'm going all over the place. Okay, let me hold that for a second. Okay, cool. We've got our second pop-up. And of course, we have our one score line over here and our two over here. Just like on that one, we're going to glue this part of the score line. But now we have to do it. Okay, let me see if I got it right here. This, like this. So, try to keep the same type of border, which means I'm going all the way down here. No, that's not it. Okay, and not too close to the score line. So here we go. I'm going to hold that in place for a second. Let it give it a little time to set. It's kind of far away, a little farther away from the score line than I like, but at least it's even, like straight up and down. So second little part we need to glue is the very outside of the other side. Fold it and get it down and hold it. And if you hold this side flat, this part flat at the same time, then you'll know that the whole pop-up strip is most likely going to be flat enough. It won't be wonky. Okay? So, okay. Now, we will glue our Happy Birthday one. So let's get our glue on here. And okay, make sure I got it going the right direction. Okay, this time I want it to line up with the bottom of the base. Okay, because if you get the pop-up a little bit too far down, guess what? When they try to stand it up to display it, then it will be wonky. Okay, it won't set flat on the table or desk or whatever. Okay, so perfect. Okay, cool. Now, that is what we have here. Ta-da! Hopefully the guy will see the 60 and get that what that's about. Our last panel that we're going to glue on here is going to be glued basically in the middle, just on one side, so that when the guy opens it up, then it will just open up really well. And remember, don't go any farther than halfway on your panel, because you don't want it to be, and I want to put it in the center it pretty well. So we'll just sit there and hold it. And I think I'll take my glue booger off that's already starting to form on this while I'm holding that, and get it all glued together. Okay, perfect. Ta-da! Awesome. Okay, now my last thing I'm going to do, I always stamp my handcrafted with love by, and I'll just use that soft navy ink again. And I just have it on this little mounting block because I use it every time, and I never use that little block for anything else but this. So I just leave the stamp on there all the time. All right. Good deal. Now better wipe that off. The weather we're having is been dry, And so things in my craft room, when I wet them down, are drying pretty fast. So I will go ahead and sign my signature there. But anyway, here you go. Here's the double floating pop-up card. And remember, it's inspired by Connie from Simply Simple Stamping. So let's give her the credit for it. All right, take care, guys. Bye.